Good evening. Welcome back to 1874. I'm your host, Dan Bardell, and this show is sponsored by Match Bingo. If you scan the QR code on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, or head to 1874.io/matchbingo, you can sign up to the app, and then you'll be doing us a huge, huge favour, and you'll be giving yourself a chance of winning some money based around all the football. You can even do it tonight with the Carabao Cup games that are on right now or about to start. So if you want to help us as a channel, if you could sign up for Match Bingo using the QR code or using that link, that would be really, really appreciated and would really, really help us. So thank you very much. Now, just wanted to jump on and do 15 minutes, really. Apologies for yesterday's video. I did a tactical breakdown with Alex Keeble, and I was in an office somewhere. He was at home. There was all kinds of problems. I just wanted to get it out in the end. I realised it wasn't the best quality. Hopefully there'll be an improvement in tonight's quality. Do let me know if there are any issues in the live chat. I can see 52 of you are with me right now, so hello to you on YouTube. Just wanted to do a transfer show. Assume some questions will come in. We've got Sam Stokes there, Max Stokes' brother, saying evening Dan, evening to you, Sam Stokes. So people ask questions around transfers and I'll do my best to answer them. But the main topic that I wanted to talk about tonight was Marco Asensio. Obviously, huge rumours doing the rounds on social media right now. People jumping the gun a little bit. I think there's definite interest there from Villa and Marco Asensio. There's definite interest from Asensio as well to return to the club. But as far as I know, I don't think anything is close right now. Cue Marco Asensio announced on the official website in the next 10 minutes. But as far as I know, I don't think anything is particularly close at the moment. But let's hope soon he does come back, because I think at the kind of start of the window, I was okay with him not coming. I thought, he's 29, kind of hints of Coutinho a little bit. If you sign him, he's on huge, huge wages. I was a little bit concerned. Now I think we're getting to the end of the window. The squad's in the shape it's in. We've had a really, really difficult summer. I've watched us in the first two games, and I think I've realised how good Marco Asensio was, and I really miss watching him for Villa. He gives space to everyone else because he occupies the opposition. The way he drifts around the pitch, he just is able to find space. He's got that majestic touch. He's a goal threat, which is something that we haven't had in the first two games at all. And I think watching us in these first two games, we need an injection of something. I've said in previous shows that I think now we can realise how good Rashford and Asensio were at coming to the club, raising standards, just lifting everyone at the time at the club and giving us a really, really big help in having what was a good end to the season. Now, Asensio is a quality operator, a quality player. Concerns that if he did come in, obviously, he hasn't been doing any form of pre-season. He's played in no games. Obviously, he'll be keeping himself going, be training himself, but he hasn't been training with PSG. He hasn't played in any game. So can he come in and hit the ground running immediately for Villa? I'm not ever so sure about that. But it's fair to say that I want him back. I want him to come back to Aston Villa Football Club. I think in these first two games, we can see that we miss him. If I think of his last home game at Villa Park against Tottenham, he was absolutely brilliant. You think of games coming up, some of the teams that were playing at home, that games that are prime for Marco Asensio. I just want him to come back now. I think he will. Like I say, it's not as close as I think people are letting on social media, but I want Marco Asensio to come back. The way the summer's been, the attacking players that we've lost, only one attacking player coming in Gesson, who doesn't know the league at the moment. I think he'll be integrated slowly into the team. We've seen that so far. Asensio, when he's fit, now that he knows the Premier League, I think he'd be a massive addition in the Europa League on Thursday nights as well. They're the kind of games that I think he would just absolutely run. I'm very, very keen to get Asensio back. So we're just wondering what everyone else thought as well. Because earlier on in the summer, when I was kind of talking about Asensio, and obviously at one point he was heading off to Turkey, I think people were okay with it. So I'm interested to gauge the mood now. If you're like me, you've completely switched and you'd kill to get Marco Asensio back into that Villa squad. I think he'd give everyone a lift at the moment as well. We've got 4 or 5 days left of the transfer window. Aston Villa will sign players. Players will enter the building, whether it be on loan or permanent. I wouldn't expect to see anyone of huge money, and I'd expect to see outgoings as well. Maybe even see outgoings before incomings come in as well. But this squad needs something, and Asensio would certainly add a spark to this squad and give everyone a lift at Villa Park as well. Gig Sharma says Grealish would have been better than Asensio. I did my bit earlier on in the window trying to talk about Grealish and wanting him to come back to the club. happy for him that he started well. Everton do think he'd have fitted right into Villa and really, really added something, but he's gone now. That's not going to happen, obviously. So there's probably not much point me talking about it. Sam Stokes, Max's brother, again says it's all a bit grim. I'd welcome Asensio without being over the moon. See, I think I would be over the moon at this point now. To get him back, like he's a talented player. Whatever you think of his spell there, we have missed him across these first 2 games. There's no doubt we would have been better with him in the team against Newcastle and him in the team against Brentford. We're obviously been linked with other players right now as well. Don't know how much truth there is in that, but I really came mainly to talk about Asensio tonight. Sound asleep. I've just saying I'm about to answer a question that's not about Marco Asensio. Sound asleep says, do we think Garnacho would be the ideal player to offer us width and a goal threat? That's the kind of deal that I don't see happening at all. I still think he's got his heart set on Chelsea. I think he'll end up at Chelsea. Chelsea are going really, really well, so it makes sense that they'd add 2 or 3 players into their squad and cause a little bit of chaos at the end of this transfer window. That would be very, very Chelsea. Garnacho wouldn't solve the width problem because I don't think he'd play from the right hand side, and we know the fullback is providing a width on the left hand side. I just don't think Garnacho ticks the boxes that we're looking for. Look, at this point, would I welcome in kind of any player to some degree? Yes, but Garnacho isn't going to operate high and wide on that right hand side, and if he came in, it would mean someone else probably playing out of position on that right hand side. So don't see any chance of Garnacho entering the fray at all. I think he'll go to Chelsea. But if he doesn't and you get to the end of the window, there's so many players at the kind of so-called perceived old-fashioned, whatever you want to call them, big 6 that are surplus to requirements. No, they haven't got futures. Players at clubs like Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United as well. That towards the end of the window, clubs will just want to offload a portion of their wages, I suspect. So you can never rule anything completely out. But I just don't see Garnacho being on Villa's radar, if I'm perfectly honest. Anything we do is going to have to kind of be on our terms, and because it's a really, really good deal for us. That's why I believe we've left it so late to strengthen. I think Villa were always going to strengthen late in this window. I don't think there's any way that we'll end up with nothing. So WN says here, how many signings do you think we'll make? I would put my life on at least 2. At least 2 coming into Villa. I think Emery wants players, and Jacob said previously on this channel, what Emery wants, Emery gets. They'll try and make it happen for him. I do think, like I say, that we were choosing to operate late in the window, and we were always going to leave it to the last few weeks and see what we could pick up in those last few weeks, even into the last week now. I think we'll still be scoping opportunities, and maybe the club aren't 100% sure what they're going to do right now. I think they're waiting. It's like a game of poker, isn't it? This transfer window has been a brilliant transfer window for most clubs and a really exciting transfer window for most clubs. Not for us. I think Villa are playing a game of poker here. They're going to let it go down to the last kind of 72 hours, see what's about, speak to the relevant people, and try and get themselves a bargain, because we know that we're constrained. We know the constraints are absolutely killing us. But I think we'll get at least 2. We have to. We're not strong enough to fight on all the fronts that Unai Emery will want to fight on. We saw the advantages of having the numbers that we had in the squad at the end of last season. When we were fighting on 3 fronts at one point. We have to strengthen, because at the moment, they say if you stand still, you're going backwards. We're not standing still. We are less bodies wise. We are less quality wise. There's no way that won't be rectified by the end of this window. Like I say, I would put my life on that. What else have we got here? Gig Sharma again says Asensio signing means Rodgers pushed to the left. That's where Rodgers has been. I think the fact that he has played off from the left in the first 2 games tells me that Emery doesn't see him as being an option on the right. Now, this probably is an unpopular opinion. I actually think it's his best position for Villa is left 10. I don't think it's central 10. I think sometimes it can get congested and he can get lost in a game or get into cul-de-sacs in the middle. I think when he's left 10 and he picks up that pocket in between the right centre-back and the right back, I actually think that's his best position now. He's been completely ineffective in the first 2 games. I don't think Asensio coming in would put Rodgers to the right. I think we're going to sign a wide attacking player, in my opinion, or you'll see Marlon start to come in the team, because there's no way we can operate the way we've operated in the first 2 games. There's got to be some width. on that right-hand side from somewhere, whether it be, Jacob did an article in the week and it was talking about Onana in pre-season, dropped into the back three and Cash, or the right back, whoever was playing on that game, was allowed to come forward. We've got to do something to get some width down that right-hand side. So I don't see Ben Rodgers playing down the right this season. Just looking through at what we've got, as always, because it's transfers. We've got a lot. We've got a lot of people talking about various things. Elijah Davis says, "What's taking so long?" Just what I've said really is that I think the club, because of the financial constraints, they know they've got to. I'm just repeating myself here. The club know they've got to wait end of the window in January. They really came in and got some players, got some top quality players in on loan that really improved us. I think they may be hoping for the same thing again. That would be my feeling around why we've left it. So plus I think there's still potentially more outgoings, and it's almost like once we know who's gone, we know the maximum that we can bid, that we can operate, that we can afford in wages, that we can afford in loan fees or transfer fees. So in many ways, it does kind of make sense that we'd wait until we know that everyone's gone, that we're going to get rid of, because then we've got the maximum headroom to bring players in. That's my opinion on that. Blackwell says even some loan deals would help immensely. Completely agree. Just something at the moment. I'm not saying we should sign players for the sake of it. Obviously, whoever we get in will be on Emery's side. So Emery has proven in the past that he'd rather work with what he's got than get players in for the sake of it. I think the thing that at the moment for me is, the academy, the young players. We've seen young players come into teams who are doing well already. Arsenal, Liverpool in the last few weeks come in and make an impact. Now that quality of player might not be there at Villa. The powers that be will know that better than me. But it's almost like you need that bit of freshness now. We need something. I remember in the 10-11 season, I think it was, when Martin O'Neill walked out just before the season started. We hadn't signed anyone, and it was the same group of players going into that first game against West Ham. But Kevin McDonald put Albrighton in. He gave him a chance after he'd done okay in pre-season, and he didn't really look back for the rest of that season, Mark Albrighton. But what that did as well, it gave some freshness. I think that's my regret from this point of the season, the first two games, is that we haven't had that freshness. There hasn't been that player there, even from the academy, that we can just put in the first team, and it kind of galvanises everyone, and it galvanises the fan base, especially when you've just lost a homegrown hero as well in Jacob Ramsey. That's the disappointing thing. I think that's one of the things that disappoint me, is that there isn't that academy player that the club deem fit to come in and make an impact, even off the bench. I think that is disappointing. Daniel Rollinson, he's having a chat with people in here. What's he doing? I don't know what he's doing. Talking just rubbish. It just says Rotterdam print on the back. I'm not sure what he's talking about there, but I do know that there is a new Rotterdam t-shirt on foundersdesign.co.uk, so do go and check that out. It's a lovely piece of artwork that you can get in the form of a t-shirt. So do just head over to Founders Design and buy that if you fancy it. Talking about sponsors and stuff, if you could buy things from Founders Design, that would be nice as well. Michael Huggins has ordered one already. What a guy Michael Huggins is. Thank you very much for that. Let me know whether it's the white or the black one, Michael. And if you DM me after the show, I'll give you a discount code for the next time you want to purchase something from Founders. So, in fact, anyone send me a DM and I'll see if I can look at a discount code for the first 5 people that DM me, and you can get yourself a Rotterdam shirt. Gig Sharma again. I always seem to just spot yours, Gig Sharma. I don't know what it is about you in the live chat. Sell Barkley and promote Hemmings to fourth choice CDM. Barkley, I don't know, we could do find out when he's coming back, but I've spoke about Onana previously. At the moment, I would say Barkley's been a better signing than Onana in terms of impact. I think what he did for us last season in the odd game won us points and stuff by coming off the bench and changing hands. I think you could definitely make an argument that Barkley for the fee has been a more effective signing than Onana. Daniel Rollinson not happy with me offering discount codes out to the first 5 people that DM me after this show, but I'm going to do it anyway. He's not in charge. You're not the boss of me, Dan Rollinson. I'll do what I like. Mark Taylor says our ageing squad is a huge issue. It feels like something that's just kind of crept up on us almost. I'm sure the club will have been aware of it, but we do seem to have kind of a lot of players in the 27 to kind of 31 bracket, and there's not, we've talked about players coming through. There doesn't seem to be many on the younger side in our squad at the moment. Of course, Morgan Rogers is relatively young. Kamara's 25, I think Boubacar Kamara is, but yeah, and Onana's a fairly young boy as well, probably a similar age to Rodgers, even though that you don't think he is because he's been around the Premier League previously. It does feel like we do have a lot of the same players in the same age bracket, and that's come from nowhere. I would agree from that. Blackwell says that reinvigoration to start building some momentum is needed. In Unai, we trust. Look, this is probably the most questions I've asked during Unai's reign. I would say after these first two games, I think it's been a really, really strange time to be a Villa fan. I think the transfer window has been an absolute nightmare, and I think, like I've said in other shows, I won't repeat myself. I do think that it's bled into the on the pitch stuff. I feel like I said this to someone in the gym earlier, and I've probably said it on the show before. I feel like we're waiting for the transfer window to be shut to kind of know where we stand, know what we've got. But whilst that's going on, 2 games have already gone by, and we've picked up 1 point. Now, we had 6 points at this point last season. We won our first 2 games. I know we didn't. We lost one, didn't we? We had 3 points at this point of the season. We won two of our first 3 games. We're already behind where we were last season, and I just feel some of the energy and the momentum and the feel good around the club has been sapped. And like I say, I'm the one who's really positive normally, and I've probably not been positive off the back of the first 2 games, particularly off the Brentford game. And I'm asking questions of things, and it's been a disappointing start, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe in the manager. I think he'll want the transfer window to shut as well. Unai Emery, so he knows where he stands, knows what he's got going into this new season now, because we're already into it. Like I say, it feels like, the clock's ticking. The season started, 2 games gone, and we're in flux. And it's not a nice feeling. I don't think we felt like that last season. The season before that, when we obviously had a great season and finished 4th, obviously we got a couple of injuries, so it was all about trying to replace them and get loans in. We've lost 4 attacking players that were part of our first team squad this season, and we've brought 1 in. So we are short. There's been a regression in terms of the squad size and in terms of the squad quality. That's a problem, and it's a problem that has hindered us in the first 2 days. The first 2 games, I would say. Unless anyone else has got any question, I haven't really got much to add, just to keep your eye on what's going on with Asensio, because I do think he will come back. Like I said, I don't think it's as advanced as people are saying, but I do think he'll come back, and I would welcome it. And let us know in the comments whether you would welcome Marco Asensio back to Aston Villa Football Club. If you've enjoyed this, then give it a like. Thank you for those that have joined me live. Leave us a comment, as I've said, and make sure you subscribed with your post notifications on. We've got all the preview content coming up over the next few days, so make sure you're across that when it comes out, the Stato preview, and then the match preview for Crystal Palace with Dave Reid. And then I'll be getting my camera out again, going to Villa Park with my dad on Sunday, doing another episode of Through the Turnstiles, me going to the football with my dad. So let's see what happens that one. He's got a bit of a big head since all the comments were raving about him off the back of that content. But yeah, I'm going to take my camera again and do some content with my dad at the Crystal Palace game. So do come over and say hello to us if you see us lingering around the Holt End and inside the Holt End. Tribe of Gad just said he's a luxury player for me. I'd take him if we already have. I don't understand that. I don't think he's a luxury player. I think he's an impactful player. Yeah, the goals that he scored, the assist that he got last season. I've completely derailed my own outro by just saying that comment. I take the point that you're trying to make, but I think you could say that about many number 10s. He won us a lot of games, Marco Asensio, with his goals and his precision. So I think we missed that. I think he's a genuine match winner. And at the moment, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of genuine match winners out there. That may change as the season goes on, but we haven't scored a goal for 2 Premier League games in the start of this season. Asensio is a goal scorer. He showed that for us. He's a goal maker. He'll help. Just don't let him take penalties, would be my advice. Blackwell says, thanks for the content, mate. Thank you, Blackwell, for watching. If you've listened via audio to this absolute ramble that I've done on this Wednesday night, then give us 5 stars, leave us a comment, leave us a review. That's appreciated. Don't forget to check out Match Bingo. That would be really helpful to me if you could do that for us. Sign up to Match Bingo, and then go and watch the Carabao Cup now, because it's probably already started. I'm going to go and watch some of it as well. The football is back. Always great to have football on the TV. Have a brilliant rest of the night or morning, whenever you're listening to this. Have a